What's good in the hood? Welcome back to another episode of the Good in the Hood podcast. I am, as always, your host, Jules, man. Joined this week with a special guest. I think it's his third time on the show. He's the only person to be on the show 3 times. It's not a recurring cast member, you know what I'm saying? I'm saying the big bro from the D, my bro, Uncle Vick. What's going on, OG?
Greetings and what up, though, man? What's good with you? I was going to actually say that. Like, I think this makes me the most reoccurring guest on Good in the Hood, bro.
The conversation never fails, man. When me and you get to talk, even if it's via text in the group chat, like it's always going to be a truly satisfying conversation, an in-depth conversation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, what up, Smoother, J Black, my boy KC, man. That's my guy right there. I love that dude, man. I think I'm officially an honorary cast member, bro.
Yeah, man, you in it, bro. So we all got love for you too. I'm saying your opinions as well, man. Right now, I think you still locked up on the book, but we be having the bands in the Facebook groups. I'm saying and getting
man. I just got out today.
Oh shit! So and I'm glad you're out today. I think the homie Day Sean posted in there some shit like about T.I. versus Eminem, and it's a hilarious comparison to have out there. But I
like Deshaun. He picked some wild topics, boy.
But T.I. versus Eminem is hella interesting. Like, it's like, because
it is kind of interesting.
It sounds like Eminem is by a landslide, but we go hit by hit.
I don't agree. Even and you know I was literally born and raised on the street 8 Mile on the black side. Yeah. But if I'm looking into to me all catalog alone and certain things, I would roll with Eminem. I mean T.I. on that one.
Man, I agree with you. I'm surprised you said that. But yeah, I'm rolling with T.I. just off hits. The Paper Trail was one long ass hit.
Yeah. I think T.I. versus T.I.P. get a bad rap. I think that's a slept on album for real because of everything that happened around it.
I feel like that's one of them albums that kind of hurt itself by being so long. Like some albums just shouldn't be as long as they are.
See, for me, I actually at some point on one of my weekend rap shows or whenever I get into a bag to talk about some hip hop, I plan on addressing this song. I actually had an episode that I didn't put out because I had this most recent controversial episode of Rants where that kind of overrode all of my other stuff when I wanted because it was real personal. But I actually had an episode where I was talking about that. I'm kind of over hip hop podcast. People in general talk about album length. Like some of them do be too long, but I come from the era where an album was 90 minutes. Like I come from All Eyes on Me, Life After Death era. Just not even a double album necessarily. You can have one album with 24 songs on it. So,
and honestly,
I do like the shorter album, but I kind of want longer albums for certain. It depends on the artist, I think.
Right. And we're gonna deep dive into that, but you did mention something in there that we definitely gotta address. I think I mentioned it in the pre-production that we want to talk about as far as like just fans and hip hop, and you kind of mentioned hip hop podcasts as well. And I feel like the greater picture there is, I guess, hip hop debate, right? Something that I feel like me and you come from. Like the one thing we do kind of have in common is we grew up we seen hip hop grow with the internet. You know, the internet, we've seen how hip hop has evolved through internet years. Like you see hip hop in a much younger age than I have, but like we both witnessed it through the internet, and like we've seen how it was one point fun to be online chat rooms or having debates in whatever format through just talking about hip hop and lists or whatever bullshit. And I feel like that conversation, at least for me, especially being podcast now for almost 2 years, those conversations, those debates have become kind of stale in many ways.
Yeah, stale. That's a good word for it. It's a safe word because I want to say corny, lame. I think these niggas is dorks, man.
Yeah, man.
Like just to keep it just to keep it a stack with you. I feel like first and foremost, I'm never gonna be the person just because I know I come off like a grumpy old man a lot of the times, but I'm never gonna be opposed to hip hop debate. As long as hip hop, it's gonna be debated. And it was built on competition, so everybody's gonna have their favorites and all of that shit. But now it's gotten to it almost feel manufactured. All of these things, and now it feels like ever since Joe and them created this lane, and there's so many podcasts, most of us dive into the hip hop podcaster lane because most of us love hip hop. And I feel like the hip hop podcast is like the mixtape was in 2007. So now I feel like people are forcing conversations, and there's a criteria now online. And to be honest, it's too nerdy. Like, I love a good rap nerd conversation, but now I feel like the nerds is having the conversations, and the shit done became the mathletes. Everybody want to talk about numbers, and everybody want to talk about projections. And is the music good? Do you like it or do you not? And I saw it's predicted to sell 117,000 gigawatts next week, and all of this nerdy shit. And it's like, bro, y'all missing the essence of what hip hop was with that.
It kind of reminds me of, like, remember when, like, the NBA started doing, like, plus minuses and shit like that, like, people got real analytical about.
Yeah, that's the problem. It's totally it's too analytical. It's like, bro, this is hip hop. This ain't the fucking great debaters or the mathletes, man. This shit nerdy as hell to me, and I'm disgusted with it at this point.
So, like, let's differentiate between, like, the competition we're talking about as far as people discussing numbers, and, like, the conversation we're seeing develop now between, like, the Royces, the Mickey Facts, the Lupe Fiascos, and the Ransoms. Like, these people are having debates now as lyricists, and I feel like that's the debates I kind of think me and you want to see it more of.
I love that. Like, I'm not even gonna lie, that made the few days of them going back and forth on Instagram and Twitter. I don't think I've paid attention to social media that much, and I can't remember. But first and foremost, I got to give Mickey Facts his flowers. I love Mickey, and I feel like of all these people that we're talking about, because lately Ransom, as of the last year, Ransom been getting a lot of flowers. And I don't feel like Mickey get the flowers he deserved, honestly. But I'm enjoying that. And I really want to see if King Los wasn't going to battle Daylight next week, I feel like he would have been in that competition more too. See,
now this is where I think you would start getting mad at me as a hip hop fan. Like, I love Mickey Facts. I love Ransom. I love Lupe, Royce. Like, I don't want to put King Los in that bubble. Like, as a lyricist, yeah. As a lyricist, absolutely. But, like, as far as those four provided is beyond just lyricism, I feel like they provided, like, a discographies that are just, pretty strong and formidable. No?
What you mean?
Like, King Los is an amazing spitter. Like, I never. For me, I could be wrong here. I just don't be hearing King Los music and be amazed by it. I'm amazed by his pen.
King Los actually hasn't recorded a lot of music or he hasn't put a lot of music out. Los, he had a project. I think it was called War. Came out like 2012 or something. It was called. It's a dollar. It's like it almost looks like Royce's Allegory cover. God, Money, War. That's what it's called.
I remember that. Yeah,
it's a solid project, and I don't know if you've been paying attention to what he did this year on the Lemon Pepper and all of them different. He put out a whole little EP, but I think it's on YouTube. I don't know if it's on streaming. But
you put him in your alien list of your superior, like, lyricists. You put him in that bunch.
Oh yes. And I'm not even a big fan of King Los the person. Like I don't know, because I just see it. I remember when Clubhouse first popped off, we had some interactions because that's when everybody was in the beginning of Clubhouse. It was just more conversational, I feel like, before it got clicky. And I always thought they arguing with people or getting extremely emotional about certain things. And I ain't saying nothing wrong with it, but it just was like, bro, like, don't let these people get to you so much. So sometimes he just come off a little bit too standoffish as a person for me. But as far as rapping ability, very alien-like. King Los is, I just don't think he puts out enough product for people to know that.
So how many legitimate, quote unquote, like aliens or supreme lyricists do you think that from the years you've seen, the ones who have notoriety? Of course, there's some who we don't really see much of, like the Moral Technique to the world, or the Brother Ali Murs of the world. But like the ones that we see in spotlight now still, and the ones we see active now still, and the ones that we truly are like a world renowned. How many do you think there are for real?
Aliens?
Yeah.
I think there are a lot. I think there are a lot more aliens than there are mainstream rappers. But what does it mean when there isn't any balance as far as when we push to the mainstream, I guess?
And that's why I kind of like, I still do like lists of my personal, like just for me type of thing, but I quit the list thing because it just sparks an argument with people who don't know music or don't understand like different criteria, and like, all right, what's the point of this? What's the point of this conversation? Like, it's useless. I feel that goes back to what you were talking about earlier. It's the useless conversation. Like, it's never going to have a result. There's no resolution to it. There's going to be people, ongoing, just baffling.
That's why I stopped having debates with people about just hip hop debates in general, because I feel like first and foremost, it's all subjective and it's all opinion. Opinions is like yesterday's. Everybody got one. Not everybody has a tomorrow. So it's like, 100%. I'll stick with the tomorrow crowd. I feel like I'm an alien-like thinker in a lot of ways. So ain't no point in me having a conversation with people that inject their fandom into every, because you can't really have these discussions without having personal preference anyway. We prefer lyrical hip hop over whatever mainstream is right now. But people are I'm more of a fan of craft than I am of any particular person. So I'm not going to have a conversation with a person when I know they don't know what it takes to get in there. Most people just like what they like and they hear stuff different. Like they hear stuff the way they want to hear it. I hear shit like creative process. When I hear songs, I hear creative process. So when I'm having a conversation with somebody about hip hop, we're having two different debates because they don't think about it like that. They just want to consume. They consume it. That's all they want to do. So it's kind of, I'm not going to say it's pointless because they're still fun. Like, if it's fun, that's one, because hip hop debates are supposed to be fun. When it becomes, I feel like when the analytics come into it, it ain't fun no more.
For real, that's true. And I feel like there is music that I just consume, or this music I'm not ever going to really deep dive into as far as the creative process, appreciating like the little thing. Because certain shit, it's just like, it's really just background music. There's certain, especially the subgenres of hip hop, the newer subgenres. I can rock with a lot of it as far as just listening to it aesthetically. But when I listen to the words for real or deep dive into what they're doing, like, this ain't really doing shit. Like, they really ain't saying nothing. They're not talking about nothing.
It's music for every occasion, man. And that should exist as long as hip hop exists, because I don't want to hear rapidy rap all the time either. So but at the end of the day though, I was just going on a Twitter rant about this week though. I'm not gonna lie. First and foremost, I'm over us being safe as hell with our takes, because I feel like everybody got an audience now. The bar is lower in music today, not just in hip hop. In music, for the most part, the bar is lower across the board than what it was a while ago. And I don't want to be the back in my day person, but a spade is a spade, man. If the bar lower, the bar lower. You got more. Anybody can upload a SoundCloud link today, and if 10,000 people like it, they got a fan base and they off to the races now. So back in the day, there was and I like that. It's pros and cons to everything. I like that, but at the same time, the bar is lower. So it's not just the me being stuck in my time thing. The bar is lower today, and nowadays everybody's safe with the takes because they got a fan base. Well, somebody like it, so that must not mean it's whack. No, it can still be whack with a bunch of people liking it. If that was the case, one-hit wonders wouldn't fucking exist.
But I mean, do they exist still?
I don't know. I don't think any of that. I'm just saying in general.
No more.
In general. But my point is, there was whack shit in every single era. When it was whack shit in our era, whether it sold a bunch of records or not, we still said it was whack. Yeah, now everybody's scared to say shit like that because everybody can say, well, it's not for me, and everybody want to be safe and dance around. No, shit whack. Like, you feel like it's whack, say it's whack.
And I agree with that sentiment, but at the same time, like I do the whole it's not good for me shit because I'm not trying to have a debate. Because like for me, like I'm sure for you as well, people tend to come to you with a hip hop debate. People will bring a hip hop debate to your footsteps, and like no one you're gonna disagree with it. Like just they know it. They know you're gonna disagree with what they're gonna say. Like why would you bring this to me? Like you want me to argue with you? I'm not trying to argue with you. So
that's why I don't let people just make me in the argument because it's like you know how I'm gonna respond to it. Like, but that's my thing. I'm not saying because some shit just ain't for you. I gotta like, for example, I was listening to Larry June last night, and I'm like, this shit dope, but it ain't for me.
I understand that 100%.
Like this shit, like so sometimes shit just don't be for you. That's cool, but now that's the safe thing to say. So now I feel like I was ranting about all this shit because I just felt like now everybody all this shit feel cliche to me now.
Everything is cliche. Everything is cliche. And that's why I think we were talking about we're talking about the podcasting earlier. And to me, hip hop content in a whole is just we've reached this like recycling area where everything's just the same shit. Like, and no disrespect to Complex, but like when Complex
fuck Complex.
Facts. When they was doing Everyday Struggle back in the day, it was like, oh, this is dope. And of course they ruined that. And now they have this shit brackets, which could be dope, but
fuck B-Dot too. Like real talk.
Yo, some of my
he feel free to say what he want.
Some of his commentary, bro, but they go, what are you talking about?
Most of it's corny. And it's like, who appointed you? I get it. He has a lot of cachet in the culture. There's a lot of cachet in the culture. But who appointed you? Like people like him, Charlemagne.
I look at B-Dot the way I look at the NBA commissioner Adam Silver. Like, you was just David Stern's man. You was Elliot Wilson's man.
Yeah, but even then, people like him, Charlemagne, Envy, all these people that are like gatekeepers in the industry, they inject their personal biases on what they like because it's a good business move for them. So, or it's a good look to build a relationship. So, man, y'all not really pushing what's dope and what's not, and y'all ain't the ones to say that. Shut that. Like, and they can have their opinion, but we shouldn't put as much stock into their opinion because they got a big following.
That's kind of why, like, I kind of hate that New York just is the kind of the gate in hip hop. Like, of course, and I love Griselda. It is though. I love Griselda. I love their movement. But the way like the New York media pushes Griselda is like, all right, like it's like. I
feel like they pushed them enough.
You don't think so?
Not really.
The whole Griselda in this top 5.
But you ain't seen Griselda at Breakfast Club.
You haven't yet? Damn,
no.
Damn.
Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, they just got a BET look, and I feel like Griselda earned all their looks. Because nobody really wanted people. The only reason, I honestly feel like the only reason people giving Griselda a look is because, giving Griselda looks now is because it's novelty, and everybody's starting to rap like Griselda.
Yeah, I mean, and like, of course, I feel like also that the Maul thing also helped a little bit, being like getting hella love over there.
Maul definitely helped. Maul definitely pushed them boys.
A big push. What do you think about Conway and Jim Jones doing the best verse off on the song?
See, I didn't know if Jim Jones was gonna come up, but man, Jim Jones can't fuck with Conway, man.
Hey, man, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know, man.
But
Jones been rapping.
I'm not gonna say Jim Jones probably makes. Not in rapping ability, but Jim Jones makes really good music. But I honestly feel like I ain't gonna lie. Okay, bold statement time. I think they overrated Jim Jones this year. I know he did a project with Harry Fraud, but I don't think the fraud department is all that great. Honestly, I feel like when people get, especially especially New York, if we're going to talk about them specifically. I feel like when the narrative gets to going, not everybody just want to run with the narrative. And I feel like because Wasted Talent and El Capo was so dope that people were just like, Jim Jones is making the best music. No, he's not.
I feel like Jim Jones also very smart this year. Like his album, to me, was one of the best albums of the year for a long period of time. But at the same time,
but it was the only one for like 6 months.
On the real, no music came out. Like so, once
like
what you get with the Coles, the Tylers, and a bunch of other artists, and then Ransom, a bunch of artists came out since then. It's like, Jim Jones ain't in the top 5 no more. It's like
I feel like the Jim Jones Conway thing though is what started this Ransom, Lupe, all of that shit. I feel like that's what started it, and I like that energy personally because that's another thing I was talking about in my rant last week is that rap is coming back. Like at the end of the day, people are making more of a conscious effort to even the Migos rap their entire album.
I think it's because there's money in it now. There's finally money in rapping.
We had 8 years. We had 8 years of that. We had 8 years of that sing-songy melodic, and it's not going anywhere because it's a whole audience for that. But now
it's kind of merged. It's kind of had a nice
because people are. You can't. At the end of the day, no matter what phases we go through and subgenres we create, at the end of the day, hip hop was always built on skill set, rapability. So at some point, if you want to be taken serious and have longevity in this shit, you have to show us you can rap. You see what the Migos just did? The Migos made a conscious effort to rap that entire album.
Yeah. I mean, of course, I'm sure having an artist like Lil Baby on the roster is added motivation. That little motherfucker be rapping. Like I don't know what he be saying sometimes. It's not really lyrical, but it's the fact that it's the way he flow and ride the beat, and then like just his aggression, his energy on the track, like all that shit.
Lil Baby is, and I know the internet finna kill me for this, but Lil Baby is what I like to call, like for reference point, Tupac energy. Not necessarily comparing him to Tupac, but you get what I'm saying. When he come on the track, you feel it doesn't matter if he's the most technically skilled person. When Lil Baby come on to something, you feel him. I just hope with Lil Baby putting out so much and being so marketable right now that it doesn't become watered down because I see it going that way. Because I didn't really like the shit with another one of those is not for me moments. The shit with him and Lil Durk, it's dope, but I was like, so what? It didn't do nothing for me.
That album was very much so reminded me a lesser version of What a Time to Be Alive. Like it was like
I'm over collab albums too. Honestly, I'm over that shit.
Yeah, collab.
If we ain't getting Cole and Kendrick, I don't want to hear your collab album.
That's a fact, bro. I've been waiting 2 years for that shit. That shit crazy. It's worse than Dre, bro.
At best, I'll say Benny and Freddie. But other than that, I don't want to hear these niggas collab.
Benny and Freddie. I don't know. I would like that still, of course. I'm a big Freddie fan. You know how I feel about Freddie. So yeah, I would like that still, of course. Personally, I'm more of a Conway dude. So for me, Conway and Freddie would be like that was just magical. I'm saying that one record they got together on what the fuck is that album? The Conway album. Put the name of it now. But from a king to a god album like that. The record he got with Freddie on that joint so far.
Oh, I like the one with him. I like him and Benny. The one, what's that? One Way Flight. I like that one better than that one. Yeah. I like that one better than that one. But Conway is Conway. I go up and down with my favorites between Benny and Conway because last year it was Benny until the end of the year, and then I don't know. This year Conway is making a statement.
Yeah, man. Yeah, Conway switched his style. He was able to switch his flows on the last project. I know you hate this from me, but I'm gonna say it, man. Like I really could have dumped out the Ludacris verse, bro. I could have done.
I don't get this thing with you and Ludacris, my nigga. What's wrong with you?
Out that Ludacris verse, but Ludacris, you used the word earlier to describe like the ways Ludacris is the corny rapper. Like since release therapy. He's been on the cornball, like just momentum.
No, Theater of the Mind was hard. Theater of the Mind. What is called? Theater of the Mind.
That's the one when he had the Macy's Day Parade joint on there. The bad, my bitch bad. Better than yours.
That's the one before that. Go back. Let's see. Because Ludacris, to me, another person don't get his flowers. Like
Ludacris deserves hella flowers. Don't get me wrong. Ludacris back for the first time, word of mouth, like all that.
That Scatterbrain verse was hard.
I bought word of mouth with my own money at Best Buy as a child. I love Ludacris as a child.
Still to this day, nobody sounds like the baby get a lot of Ludacris comparisons, but to this day, there's never been another Ludacris.
I think the baby is more Nelly than Ludacris, or more like Plies. I don't really see Ludacris.
Yeah, maybe he's just a hybrid of all of them. But
yeah.
I feel like I think even Luda's last album, Ludaversal, was dope. The only thing that was wrong with Ludaversal was that it was dated. Only thing that was wrong with it was that it came out about 4 or 5 years.
That's why I feel like makes him corny. Is his sound is kind of dated. He's never really changed his sound. He's still.
A lot of rappers are corny though. Like
of course. I'm just saying once you get like I feel like Ludacris is entering the realm of Will Smith corniness on the rapping side though. He's entering that realm.
No, that's come on, Juice.
I can't live in vibe.
But see, here's the thing. Don't get it fucked up. Because Will is still borrowing one of these niggas' hands off today. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Vick,
niggas got Will fucked up. Niggas got Will fucked up.
Who was Will Smith borrowed up today? I got bars.
I'm not saying he would borrow any particular person. I'm saying
Will right now.
Hey, Will would watch a lot of niggas. I'm telling you, Will, if Will really wanted to rap, you might want to listen to some of them joints. See, you were a little younger, so you don't know that Will can really rap.
I know Will can rap. Will could rap.
Will is the corny guy because we know that ain't nobody going. Rap has gotten too what's the word I'm looking for? Like, I don't want to say blackface, but you get what I'm saying.
Hello.
Like it's we've gotten too monolithic. It's like you got to be cool, you got to be drippy, you got to be street, you got to be, and it's like some niggas like for example, I feel like
all personas.
Yeah, for example, I feel like a person that gets, and I know why he get it because he is corny. Joyner Lucas is corny, but. And up until like the first album, the ADHD, I didn't really care for it.
I wouldn't use corny, I'll use gimmicky. He's gimmicky.
Gimmicky. But see, that last album is none of that. That Evolution joint is none of that on there. Yeah, and when I say it's a solid ass album, it's a solid ass album. But because he's so.
This is my question for you. Because this is where I feel like me and you differ the most when it comes to that kind of thing. Once an artist like gets me, I don't like an album, I don't like a project or two, I'm not going back. You can't get me to go back. It's gonna take a lot.
See,
I feel like you're more open to going back and listening. I don't be caring no more.
Because why not? Music is fucking free right now. It's free.
I mean it is, but at the same time, it's like I got other music I'm listening to. I'm not gonna go out my way if I've been proven to not like your music before, I'm gonna go out my way and listen to it now.
See, that's dumb as hell. If you lose if LeBron go to the finals and not win all of them, is you gonna not watch the finals the next time he go?
That's different. That's a different thing entirely. I feel like because I feel like to sit down and invest myself to listen to 30 to 60 minutes of music from an artist I really don't care for. It's like I compare it to watching a Timberwolves versus Grizzlies game. I'm not turning that game on more than likely. I'm not going to turn it on.
But see, that'll be the time you miss. And then if you don't watch that game and somebody scores 60 points, you're gonna be like, damn.
That's why I got sports.
If you like, that's why I'm not a fan of. I don't care about these people individually. If you rap dope, if you make good music, I'm gonna listen to the shit. If it's not good, if it ain't good, I won't go back. But how would I know if I don't go listen to it?
And that's why I feel like we differ the most, right? I'm a fan. I become a fan. Of course, I'm a fan of music, but I also become a fan of the artist. I don't feel like you become a fan outside of like Jay-Z for you, or Eminem even. I don't really see too many artists where you are a devout fan for this artist. You more so a fan just for a good body of work, a good piece of music.
Why? I used to be like that, but rappers have I used to be real invested in game. I used to be really invested in the game, right?
Right.
Because I relate to a lot of what he say. I love music that comes from a painful place. And not so many people do that like Game. 100%. And we have similar stories as far as gang life and all that shit. So I've been a Game guy, like rode hard for Game Freak. I'm talking about when everybody was like, man, you name drop too much, you corny, I'm over that shit. Then when all the Nipsey shit started happening, it was like,
that was tough.
All right, man, I can't do nothing else with this, dog. Like, so Jay, at this point, but I'm still going to listen. Kanye, for as much shit as I give him, I'm still going to listen. So,
that nigga Game had the cornrows, the beard, the flow. He said, fuck it.
I'm just going to be Nipsey. Fuck it. So, but that's what I'm saying. Even with Kanye, as much shit as Kanye do make me say, all right, I'm going to go listen when it come out again. So if I can do that, or if I can listen to one of these little Zen XTJ LMNOP niggas, why can't I go listen to Joyner one more time?
That's fair. I feel like also for me, most of my time I'm listening to music nowadays. I'm driving. I guess that's why I kind of rock with Larry June. Like put Larry June on in the gym. I put Larry June on in the car. It's kind of like mindless at a point. And I feel like Jordan Lucas is an artist I have to listen to. I have to sit down and listen to your words. And what I've heard from him in the past, this has never really entertained me long enough.
Listen to that Evolution album. I'm telling you, you hear the Evolution album, and even if you say fuck him the rest of the project, I guarantee this project, if you don't like this project,
I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna check it out. And like
even with Larry June, right? Like, see, I hear certain things, like I said, I be listening like it's all this comparative shit. Like when I heard Larry June, I instantly got Zero. I instantly got Zero mixed with like Detroit rappers mixed with like, and that's a thing for me. When I hear 9 Detroit rappers doing the Detroit sound flow thing, it throws me off.
The Bodie James joint.
That's what I was thinking. He sounded like a combination of Bodie and Zero. But like when I hear 9 Detroit, I think it's just for me being from there and hearing that flow my entire life. When I hear 9 Detroit rappers do it, it sounds a little off to me because I can hear what they not doing, I guess.
What's that Superfly kind of flow?
It's the offbeat. It's the 42 Doug. It's the Babyface Ray. It's the T Grit. It's that offbeat, on beat, smooth. It's them pockets, huh?
The Ray Cash shit.
Cleveland. See, it's that, we got a lot of similar things, but when I hear people do that, because that's a thing now, right now. The Detroit flow, I never thought I would see the day where Detroit flow would be prominent.
Currency has that as well. I feel like it's also because like one thing you and the homie Ski Johnson educated me on is that Detroit Oakland marriage, that Detroit Bay marriage, and that Bay sound is also cool. The Detroit look with the glasses is like.
I never thought I would see the day where the bass sound would be cool. Never.
Yeah.
Because we were, and growing up where I grew up at, we listened to E40 in 91, 92, 90, you know what I'm saying? We was listening to everything that came out of that region early. Because that's because it's the similarity there. So I never thought I would see a day where those flows would be prominent in hip hop. So when I hear people doing it, it kind of almost throw me off. Like, even though it's dope, it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, and I think it's largely because that the borders have all kind of been disappeared in hip hop. Like hip hop,
I hate that. I'm not gonna lie.
You can't tell where anyone's from unless they say it. Like,
I hate that.
You can't tell where anyone is really from. Like
that's one of the things.
People think Dirk is from Atlanta. Like I'm sure.
Yes. That's one of the things I love about listening to Good in the Hood podcast and True North Views is the regionality of it. When I listen to y'all talk, it sounds like 4 Chicago niggas talking. When I listen to Dill and Harris and Shola talk, it sounds like Toronto people. You know what I'm saying? Like, I miss that. I like the fact that everybody's merging, but I do miss that you just can't hear where anybody's from anymore. That was a big part of hip hop, was learning people, and I feel like that's missing a lot. But I feel like all of everything come full circle and history repeat itself. So that's why niggas are starting to rap again, tell stories, give more regionality. Like you're starting to hear that more. So I just feel like everything go through its phases.
So, and I mentioned homie KC, he has two artists he loves to tell me and listen to. And y'all agree on a lot of shit. So I'm gonna get your takes on these two artists. You mentioned Jordan Lucas already. He kind of has the same feels, I feel like, towards Joyner. How you feel about Corday and French Montana?
Man, listen, I be on the pod. I be at work, like, in the argument with y'all. Like, and the court, first of all, I just was listening to Corday this morning, honestly. I felt like
my boy Harris from True No Views also kills me for my Corday takes, man. I can't get into Corday.
I understand how you listen to music now, and I'm not mad at it. But I feel like the reason I be getting on you about it is because I feel like you be cheating yourself, bro. Because you be listening to music for all these different variables, and it takes away from you actually enjoying it. Like, I didn't even think about him sounding as much like Cole and until I heard you say it. And I'm like, let me go really dissect this shit. Then I see the similarities. And I'm like, okay, I see how you can see
like
that.
Cole
But if
and
it's
Chance
dope,
had a baby, it's like Cole and Chance. And then he had the nerve to have a song with each of them on the album too. I'm like, this nigga sound like these two niggas.
But see what I'm saying? I come from an era
I like Corday more. I like Big Sean. I'm sorry, man.
That's so fucking you know what? It ain't disrespectful because that's what you like more than the other thing. But that's what I'm saying.
Hold on. So we here though. When did he put on Detroit 2?
About 3 months ago, maybe. About 3 months ago.
I'm doing a check on this album, bro. That album went away so fast. I'm doing a check on
But everything, music is recyclable. It's too much music. So it don't mean the album ain't good. It's that it's 47 rappers putting out albums every Friday.
Yeah. I mean, even that Cole album isn't talked about that much anymore, but that Cole album is some heat, boy. That Cole album is some heat, boy.
That's the one right there. But I think Corday, I like Corday. I was actually gonna put you up on a dude, Bobby Fino. That's Arian Foster.
Yeah, I've heard an album or two from him.
Huh?
I've heard an album or two from Arian, from Bobby Fino.
He just put out an album last Friday. And when I say yes, and he has a Cole-like similarity. But if that's how your vocal inflections and all that just sound, you just sound like that. Nobody. I remember when Shine first came out. Mm-hmm. I remember when Shine first came out, and everybody was doing the Biggie comparison, and this, and did the second single drop, and it was like, this nigga can rap though. Because at the end of the day, like, it's one thing to bite a nigga and try to emulate a nigga. It's another thing when that's just what you sound like, or you influenced by that person. People, I can still hear Big Daddy Kane and Jay-Z today. Why does it matter?
I think the difference for me is, I'll put it this way, right? I'm gonna use an example as JID. JID sounds a lot like Kendrick Lamar, right?
Yeah, a lot.
All the time. Right? But I feel like he also adds his own twist to it that separates him. He has like this southern twang. Now, like for instance, Earth Gang is hit or miss for me because they sound like a lot of people. They sound like Andre, they sound like Smino, they sound like a lot of people all over the place. And it's like, you know.
Listen, bro. No idea is original.
Of course,
and everybody's gonna sound like somebody. If it's dope, why the fuck do it matter?
I feel like it matters when it comes to me listening to an album. A song or two, yeah, I can vibe with you, but I can't listen to a whole album if you're going to sound one way. It doesn't sound authentic. It doesn't catch me. Music to me is 100% a feel. I can't really describe how certain music doesn't get me, but like Corday, I can put Corday on, and sometimes he rocks with. I can rock with him. Like his verse on Trauma with Her, dope verse. Now, at the same time, are there a few artists I could have seen in that spot that would prefer? Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? But it was a hard verse.
But see, this is the thing where we're being too analytical come into play, bro. That would be like me listening. You know what? I ain't gonna listen to Good in the Hood because Juice sound like Steele from Juice, ironically. Like, Like, you know,
Sam's.
like
Sing that
I
song,
get what you're
Sam.
saying. Because, like, I get what you're saying, because that's the same reason why I did not like Gorilla Black. Gorilla Black sounded too much like Biggie. So,
but to that point though, when Shine came out as a kid, my pops worked at a bar. He'll bring like a mix CDs. And no tracklist on them. I put them on. I hear this song, Bad Boy. I'm thinking it's a Biggie song. Until I see that video, I had no idea that was not Biggie, bro. Until I see the video, I was confused, bro. Out my mind. That shouldn't be allowed. You should not be able to sound. You can't have the song called Bad Boy. You sound like that.
And he was signed to Bad Boy.
He ain't do that, man. Pump got to chill out, man. He knew what he was doing.
But and then you listen to it, because when you really listen to it, he does not sound like Biggie. His voice is just
not at all.
But his voice is just what it is. Like, I was introduced to him that way by the video. So when I saw this light-skinned dude with that voice coming out of him, I'm like, what? But around that time, it was that when the second one came out, because it was like, okay, this is dope. And then it was the novelty of Barrington Levy with the DVD. So that what made it. But when the second one came out, that's Gangsta single drop, I said, oh no, this nigga the real deal. At the end of the day, I didn't care that he sounded like Biggie no more.
It instantly reminds you of Respect a little bit too, the Biggie record Respect. Like, it instantly reminds you of that. It's like, man, it's too much similarity.
Game sound like a different nigga every album. Ain't nobody said nothing about it.
Hey, man, I keep telling you how I feel about Game, bro. You telling the wrong person. Game ain't, it's not one of my people.
My thing about it, I'm just saying this, like I said, man, my thing about it is hip-hop is just, I mean, at the end of the day, I heard, like what more can you say? What more can you do? Everybody gonna sound, I just heard somebody say a line on something I was just listening to. It might have been Vinnie Paz this morning. I can't even remember the line, but it was a line that I know I heard about 9 or 10 other times throughout the history of hip-hop. 100%. And I'm like, how can you not? I can't even remember the line.
That's why I always say, like, for me, one of my favorite lines from Biggie ever is, I think it's Brooklyn's Finest. He goes, make him dash like Dame. I feel like in 96,
that's I love the dope.
He has to be the first one to say that bar at that time. So
probably.
If that bar ever got, it was saying stole, it's definitely a Biggie one forever, because no one knew Dame Dash was in 96. So I was saying, he had the first one to get that one off.
I've heard that since then. And even like for me, right? Everybody who know me, I'm a heavy battle rap advocate. So, and that's some shit where we literally dissecting bars, and even then, because I was thinking about it last night, like when you catch somebody that says a bar that's similar, and you say, or if for example, if Gotti say a line, and somebody be like, T-Rex said that 10 years ago, and it's like, well, battles happen so often, how can you not at some point repeat the same line?
That's definitely big in battle rap, that biting shit when it's like a simple ass line. Like, come on now. Like, you think this nigga put that one line from 10 years ago? Like,
it's certain things where, so it's like, oh, I could never reference this ever because somebody else made a line that was similar. Like, so to me, it's like I said, that's where it just becomes too analytical, and it takes the fun out of it, because hip hop was started about being fun. Now we just making it the mathletes and shit.
And I feel like also that comes with the fact that the genre's aging. So like a lot of these debates, a lot of these arguments are very regurgitated. It's just very much like monotonous. It's just happening over and over. We had this. We did this already. We did this already. Let's have a new one. It's new topic, something else. Like, I feel like it just becomes so regurgitated. Like, for instance, right, on the Good in the Hood pod, when Smooth is on, we damn near have banned an artist for being mentioned. You know what I'm saying? Because of
Y'all almost made me unfollow that nigga on Instagram, bro. I was almost unfollowed base because of y'all. Like, he ain't even do nothing to me, but y'all talk about him so much. I'm like, all right, bro, I'm over it.
Like, how was this conversation still going on, bro? Like,
I don't even know how he hasn't caught wind of this yet, because y'all have to be the only podcast that mention Mace every week
for Chicago. Like, Fucking the Chicago podcast about Mace every week for it. But
Yeah.
But like also like you say, I talk about Kanye West all the time. It's like I feel like certain people, certain artists just get brought up. When you're a fan of them, they just get brought up all the time. I could debate Kanye probably forever because Kanye is just so it's an enigma. Like I don't know how do you compare Kanye? Is Kanye right for real? Like how do you rank him as a lyric? Like all that shit just always can go on forever. The Mace shit I really don't get how Mace gets brought up on a regular basis. It's one album.
I had to let go a lot of that myself. Like when I was realizing that, because even when I give like when I get on my whole 80s versus 90s kick or whatever,
yeah,
I have to realize that if I was born in 1990, my nigga, I'd be like, I don't give a fuck what you talking about. Like so if I was bought into, I feel like the people, I guess I would call y'all the blog era. What is y'all era? You know, I feel like
I think it's mixtape blog era.
The mixtape, yeah, that era. Yeah. I feel like everybody born from 90 and up or late 80, like late 80s, like 88 and up, 87 and up. Y'all kind of spoiled.
88 to 96, around that little bubble.
Y'all kind of spoiled because y'all literally, like, I'm thinking about it. Like, I'm like, bro, if I was discovering hip hop at 13 or 14 or something through the boom of everything that was happening when y'all was younger, my perspective would be different because it would be like, bro, like y'all came into hip hop being mainstream. 100%. Y'all came into hip hop being a mainstream genre already. For people of my era, we had a sense of y'all don't know what it feel like to almost lose this shit. You know what I'm saying? Where I think that was y'all in the episode, or it was y'all or ill-advised wise guys was talking about a point in time where they didn't. I think it might have been ill-advised where they were talking about there was a time where people said hip hop wasn't real music, and they were using it as a comparison to say the same thing people say about melodic singers, basically. Yeah. And that was a good point. But I'm also at the same time, I feel like if you was born in 88, 89, in the early 90s when Dolores Tucker and Calvin Butts and Dan Quayle and all them was talking about band and rap, I don't know how the people older than us felt, but as kids in that era, we thought it was a chance that they could actually take this shit from us.
To take your point even further, I feel like a lot of people from my generation or people from 88 to 98, as you were saying, like I feel like a lot of people my age have no idea that even happened probably. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
like,
that's what I'm saying. See, that's what I'm saying.
Beyond not knowing how it felt, I don't feel like there isn't a historical fact that's discussed much at all. The fact that hip hop was damn near banned at a certain point. Like NWA, Public Enemy was really facing like getting banned. Too loud.
So when I see people having these debates and they talk about it, it's not that it ain't their personal takes as much as it is. I don't think they really appreciate this culture the way they should because they don't know what it felt like to have to almost lose it. Now, I don't know, like I said, I don't know how the 70s babies felt about it or if they really was like, man, that shit ain't gonna happen. But I know when I was 11, 12 and they was crushing Snoop Dogg CDs and they was having these political, the same way they got Mark Zuckerberg sitting in front of the Senate and all that shit. They literally had rap in front of the Senate and they was talking about getting rid of this shit. So I know what that feel like. So I'd be like, man, these niggas don't even know. But at the same time, I have to put myself in their shoes and say, if I was born in this shit and I never knew that existed, I wouldn't give a fuck neither.
But then it hits me. It does hit me at times. I'm like, man, when you put in perspective the fact that Snoop is gotta be close to 50. Puff is in his 50s.
Snoop's somebody's granddad.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like when you put that in perspective and then you look, especially me being 30, going on 31, I'm looking at Lil Baby. I can't sit here and critique these cats anymore. I can't. How do you do that? How do you
I don't.
Yeah, you can't.
I don't do it anymore. That's why, and I'm not gonna lie.
The genre is grown so large, you can't. It's not that the underground isn't a thing anymore down there.
It's not. It's not.
Everyone, like you said earlier, everyone has a fan base. Everyone has equal opportunity down there for the most part.
It's a lot of niggas who search music who never seen a Sue Surf battle ever. Don't even know he a battle rapper. Never. So everybody got a fan base now, and I think that's why I've gotten to a place of you know what? I guess I'm kind of an elder statesman in this shit now, so I can't give the youngins flack all the time for them having the perspective they have when they was born in the era they was born in. I can't be mad at your mama and daddy fucked when they fucked, bro. That's just what happened.
And let me tell you what, I didn't realize how old I was really in hip hop until last Saturday, man.
You realize that you watched?
Watching Lil Bow Wow before Bounce With Me, though, was crazy, Joe. Watching Bow Wow before Bounce With Me is a grown-ass man who put life into perspective so fast.
Bow Wow really somebody daddy. How you think I feel? How you think I feel when Bounce With Me came out? I was a senior in high school.
Yeah, man, that's crazy right there, bro. That shit threw me
I
out.
I remember when they broke him in the Monica video. When they broke Bounce With Me, and he came out on the edge of the Monica video and did the first part of it. Like, I remember that.
Damn, bro. Like, I remember watching the video, him and Snoop turning into dogs.
I think that's why I have because I'm not gonna sit here and say that I'm a fan of all this shit, but that's why I have a respect for the culture as a whole, because it's like, bro, I really watched this shit grow from Run DMC to Lil Baby. I gotta respect all of it, even if I don't like some of it. I gotta select, and that's why I'm not mad at you saying certain shit is corny and yada. I feel like you be cheating yourself, but at the same time, I have a selective listening too. I haven't been listening to a lot of music this year. I've been treating this shit like the same way we did when we bought CDs. You couldn't listen to it's a bunch of albums. It's a bunch of classic albums that even I had to go back to, because in that era, I wasn't buying Tribe Called Quest, my nigga, when I was listening to gangsta shit. So I had to go back and listen to Tribe Called Quest because I only knew them casually. I had to go back and listen to that.
Welcome to the Soul Aquarians, bro. Welcome to the Soul Aquarians. I'm saying we accepted all what was there. We accepted all.
I thought about you recently because I've been listening to a lot of Soul Aquarians. I've been listening to the last 3 months. I've been listening to a lot of Slum, a lot of Tribe, a lot of Elzai, a lot of just that vibe. I don't know why I've been there. I don't know where my maturation's going in life, but I'm like,
I was raised
a lot of Outkast, a lot of Goody Mob. I've been listening to a lot of all of that shit. So it's like,
I'm gonna tell you right now, what I've been listening to a lot of right there in your bottom left hand corner. I've been listening to a lot of black on both sides, bro.
I just listened to that. Heavy. I just played that maybe a month ago. But see, I was always a Rockets guy because I'm a big Talib guy. So, like I said, I have my picks, and that's why I've been getting selective, because it's certain shit. I ain't gonna lie. It's certain shit that I just come out and I just be like, I'm not listening to that. Like, I'm not Lil TJ. I'm not listening to that. I'm not listening to certain people. 24K go. I'm not listening to that. Like, I'm just not. And that's not a young thing, because I like a lot of these young niggas. I like NLE Chopper sometimes. I got kids, so I have to like some of them.
Like for me,
but some of that shit, I treat streaming like how we bought CDs. Like, yes, I'm just gonna pass on that. I'm not listening to that.
Like for me, like a big thing I've been doing recently, Apple Music lets you it creating stations for you, right? So it's a juice station they give me. I just push play. Whatever they put on there, but I bet I can listen to Luther Vandross 1 second and Roddy Ricch the next second. I'll be like, all right, that's what we doing.
I'm trying to get more playlists like ready and shit. I try to do more, and I'll be trying to get more into R&B, because when you and Mac be on y'all super lovey-dovey kick, I'll be kind of jealous.
I'll be having the incense burning with her album.
When y'all get into y'all Snow, Scissors, Summer Walker bag, I'll be kind of jealous, because I'll be like, I can't do Summer too heavy. But I can't get into nothing. You know what? I realized, bro, I'm just not an R&B nigga, and I'm okay with that.
You don't like, her album?
I like it, but even when I was listening to that last week, and I'm just like, why am I doing this? Like, I like it, but why am I? What's the purpose of this? Like, it's dope, but I realize what it is for me.
Get the LEDs going, get the incense going, get you some good weed.
No, I want to hear something smooth. I don't want to. You know what it is? R&B is too, because people probably gonna judge me, but I like white people music, alternative, all that rock and roll shit. That's my bag. So like heavy this year, I've been on Lana Del Rey's Chemtrails in the Country Club. Heavy this year. All year I've been on Lana Del Rey, real heavy. And it's like, I think that's my that's my smooth sultry bag. It ain't really R&B for me like that. And I feel like because R&B always come from that scoring, somebody hurt you place. I don't give a fuck. I don't want to hear about who hurt you. And then you want to turn around and make a baby right after that. I don't know. I don't want to make a baby now. You told me how much you hate niggas.
I've been messing with Drum new album as Shelly, his new name. It's been rotation pretty heavy.
I think it's dope. Yeah. I like some of it. I think I'm more partial. I know what it is for me. I like even in my oldies music, right? When I'm listening to Tina Marie and Rick James and Temptations and all that shit. I don't like the super duper love songs. I like Across 110th Street. I like all of the, you know, I like Pain. I like Curtis Mayfield. You know what I'm saying? I like soul from the gutter. I don't just like, okay, somebody hurt you and then quit crying, do some push-ups. I don't want to hear that.
Now, Vic, that's what my old man really shows, bro. I'll play oldies over 90% of the show I listen to any day of the week. Just give me a bunch of oldies R&B. I'm cool. Like, I don't even need hip hop. You give me oldies all day.
I listened to Prince all last weekend. For a weekend straight. I just listened to Prince. I just woke up and wanted to hear Prince all weekend.
That's a beautiful
way to live, bro. And it's like, I like music that come from, like, you feel that grit in it. And I think that's what it is. So R&B wise, I guess you could call him a rapper, but St. John is R&B to me. I like St. John.
That's one of the artists I just never got into.
St. John hard. I like Brent Faiyaz. And he's still, but I like music that come from some sort of struggle, what you've been through. I don't just want to hear about struggle in your relationship. Everybody go through that.
Did you fuck with the Weeknd back in the day?
I liked drugged up, fucked up Weeknd, but even then it was when white people started taking it, I was just
yeah, cocaine got kind of crazy. Cocaine era.
When soon as it became like the 50 Shades of Grey song and shit, I was like, okay, I don't like it no more.
Oh yeah, it got crazy, bro. That's why they took it too far. Like, what are y'all doing? This is the Weeknd. How you get on the 50 Shades of Grey soundtrack?
Yeah, and now even that, like he had one of his best years last year, right? And the music wasn't bad, but I was just over it. I'm like, I'm tired of hearing cocaine 80s in a spaceship. I'm tired of it. And I like it more when it was toxic. I'm a big advocate for making toxic great again. I feel like we all so busy trying to be PC. Fuck that. Bring toxicity back.
And I feel like it's going to now that everything is kind of going behind a paywall. Like, I'm seeing all content I see over the next 5 years will be going behind the paywall. I'm seeing it with the Joe Budden podcast going pretty much full-fledged Patreon. I'm seeing like a lot of different content creators going towards the Patreon, OnlyFans, pay me through Venmo, all that kind of shit now. Like, it seems like that's becoming a new thing.
Right. You know what I think gonna happen, and this is just what I think is gonna happen. Right. I think everybody's on the side of this politically correct. We gotta be. We trying to be progressive, and I'm not mad at it because I feel like every generation looks back at the past generation and look at what the other ones did wrong and be like, okay, let's fix this. I think the only problem with what's happening now is they trying to fix back then too. You can't do that. Yeah. That's already happened.
I mean, hey, real quick before you continue, mentioning that, you see who got free, right?
Who? I did just see that right before we got on the phone and let Bill out.
You guys be free.
How, Sway?
Out of nowhere. That nigga put a magician out of nowhere, bro. He erased his whole past in a second.
Man, but see, I feel like everybody trying so hard to be on the right side of history that they don't realize that like I was telling my kids, and having kids is a great barometer for foresight, because now that I'm starting to look at them, I'm starting to like look back at me when I was their age, and I'm thinking back through my life, and I'm going, yo, this shit really changed every couple of years. The whole world low-key changed. And I feel like everybody trying so hard to be on the right side of history that when all of this cancel culture shit subsides and everything changes and everybody get tired of that shit, all the people that was like, no, you have to be this. I'm holding you to this standard. All of them gonna be stuck because they're gonna want to come back over to the toxic side, to the dark side and shit. And we gonna be like, no, stay your progressive ass over there because everybody gonna get tired of this fluffy
100%.
bubble gum drop bullshit that's out here. Eventually, people gonna get tired of it.
I feel like it has to get there eventually. Like it's almost like you can't even like show yourself smoking weed on TikTok type of thing. Like that's the kind of PC culture we live in. You can't. It's just crazy. It's crazy.
You can't say anything, and people now it's like, dog, people ain't giving nobody a chance to make a mistake because everybody wanna mold you as a person based on one comment. Like, oh, that's who you are as a person. And it's like, shut your bitch ass up. Yeah, how about that?
Yeah,
eat a dick. How about that?
The thing about it is, it's never really. No one's ever really canceled. Like I've not seen that.
There's no such thing.
No one has been canceled ever yet. I can't think of.
If R. Kelly was free right now, R. Kelly would be selling out venues, right?
R. Kelly was literally selling out tickets before he went in. He was still buying his music. He was still doing.
Hey,
like that's not going. He's still making even more money now of his streaming than ever before at this point.
I stopped for a few months, but I was listening to Tory Lanez all year.
My cheat code there was I was never really a Tory Lanez fan. I never really.
Me neither. I mean, I was, but I won't say fan. I see. That's what I mean. That's what I think. I'm a supporter, not a fan.
I like Say It, and I like that. What's that? Love. I like them two songs.
See, I was listening to him before all of that. That's the shit I don't. I like Rap Tory. I was listening to him.
Man, I'm the complete opposite. I hate Rap Tory.
I was listening to him. New Toronto 1. So I like all of that. I like when he get into that shit he was on Lord Knows, when he get into that bag of that high pitched thing he do. When he get into that bag, that shit sound like Gangster Angel singing, my nigga. I don't care what you talking about. I like that shit. Like I don't care, bro. But it's like, does that mean that I support somebody shooting women? No, but it's like, I don't know. Like I was gonna, like, you know, I had a brother who passed at the end of last year. My brother loved R. Kelly. We argued about R. Kelly. The entire R. Kelly is that nigga's favorite person on the planet, music-wise.
And that's what hypocrisy comes in on people's side, right? Because if you listen to R. Kelly, I might not agree with you, or somebody might disagree with you. I can't ridicule you for it. We listen to music all day about niggas killing each other. Like how you be cool with niggas killing each other? They're not cool with this. You know what I'm saying? It's like literally 50 Cent.
You took my point, because that's what I was going to say. Like, that's what I was going to say. When I get reminiscent of my brother, and I don't too much, because I was never a person here. Okay, another unpopular opinion. I, for the most part, always thought R. Kelly was very overrated, even though he's a musical genius. I feel like his catalog, I feel like his talent-wise, he's a genius, but I don't feel like he put it into everything he do. I feel like he know he's so good, he could put out any fucking thing, people gonna like it. But I feel like outside of TP2, the rest of his catalog is overrated. So I was never.
I agree with you. Album-wise, I agree with you. I don't think he has.
I was never a big R. Kelly person anyway. But when I think about my brother and I want to listen to some, like, I'm not canceling Best of Both Worlds 1. Fuck what you talking about. Like, I'm a whole nigga. I can't do that. So when I put that on, I'm like, man, I ain't finna feel bad because he's a freak, my nigga. He made good music. Is
that what Fiesta?
No, but Fiesta was before that. But it should have been there.
Or that was is that Body Yaddy Yaddy?
Yes. Yes. Like, my nigga, I'm not gonna not listen to that. Hold on there, spazzing.
That was an era, nigga.
That's a bop, my nigga.
That was hey,
so it's
man,
like
that was a summertime album I never heard one before in my life, bro. That was the album.
I'm all for progressing the culture and being a bit more morally sound than the previous generation, but not to the point where we just pointing fingers at each other and I'm just not gonna listen to, like, so what? I wasn't a big Cosby Show person, but does that mean I can never watch A Different World now?
See, that's where that's where it hurts me, right? Because I can't listen to Kales. I'm never gonna stop watching the Cosby Show. The Cosby Show is one of my favorite shows ever. I will never stop watching.
Really?
Heathcliff Huxtable is my nigga for life. That nigga
he always made me feel weird, even as a little kid, bro. Like, I don't like Jello. I don't eat Jello to this day because them commercials creep me out. He in that bitch with all them little kids like, dog.
See,
like, nigga, what are you doing?
And that's another thing that I feel like I don't think we talk about enough. I feel like the 90s kids, we do that joke, but none of us saw that commercial. I was not allowed to see the commercial. The commercial was never around for me as a kid.
I knew this
joke because of Eddie Murphy.
This is like 88. I'm like 6 years old or something. It creeped me out then. Only reason I watched the Cosby Show was because I had a crush on Denise, and you know what I'm saying? I was a little freak boy.
Hey, man.
And that's another thing. I'm not getting off. Me and you not leaving this conversation before I talk about you being a freak boy, bro. Because, hey, every time, every single time I'm going through my like spree on Instagram, if I'm not there, if I get there, if you ain't there first, I'm there. If I like something and you ain't there, if I come back to it, you eventually get there, bro. I'll be like, you're the only one that, you're the only, because everybody follow the same IG models. Me and you follow some gems. Niggas don't be, niggas don't be knowing. Niggas don't even be knowing. I'll be like, nobody I follow see this person. Then the only person I see there be you, bro.
A couple of them boys. A couple of them Edwina Carl Isaacs in the tuck, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The Lorraine SDs in the tuck, you feel me?
Yeah, so but that's what I'm saying, man. Like I said, I can't, I was showing my kids a different world. Like my daughter who's 12, she'll be 13 in a month. She was watching YouTube.
Allen run free for years. Woody Allen ran free for years.
But not only that, right? Not only that. Again, I was listening to Ill-Advised this week, and they was talking about how hip hop is in a wacky space because of the violence. Like you said, we listen to niggas make records about niggas getting shot all the time and all that. But and they was talking about the whole Megan Tory thing, and like, oh, it's in a wacky place. When has music or the world in general not been a fucked up place? Yeah. Jerry Lee Lewis and Elvis and all of those niggas, like, it's been corrupt since its inception.
Yeah.
Elvis, them niggas was marrying little cousins and 12-year-old girls, and when has it not been that? I'm not saying that it's okay, but now all of a sudden we want to put this big ass target on hip hop like everything else. Ozzy Osbourne was biting off bat heads.
I mean, I remember being a kid and when Michael Jackson was going through his crazy streak, like that's
Wacko Jacko. I got Wacko of the Week from that. Hey, Michael Jackson was my inspiration for Wacko of the Week. Because they used to call him Wacko Jacko every day.
Yeah, on the front of National Enquirer, Wacko Jacko. Like, damn, this nigga nose cut off, a Band-Aid face. Like, damn, what happened to Michael Jackson?
That's my thing. Like, I'm all for being morally sound and being better, but I feel like this. We so busy trying to police each other's actions instead of policing the system that created it in the first place.
Yeah.
You want niggas to stop rapping about guns, even with the young niggas. Sometimes I don't want to hear that shoot shit. And I damn sure don't want to see these young niggas die every week, but look what they from.
Yeah.
I was talking to my kids the other day, and they were just sitting here talking about all the rappers they like that died. And I'm like, bro, I couldn't imagine being y'all age and a rapper that I like dying every week. I would be fucked up mentally.
We were just talking about this on the last episode of the podcast, man. Like, literally, I remember when I was in high school, there was always this picture that would go around of all the dead people of our era, and the Left Eyes, the Biggies, the Parks, the Big L, Big Pun, Eazy-E. That's about it. That was about.
I told him it happened once every year or once every couple years. This wasn't normal.
It was not normal. Like, that was nowhere near normal. Like, Aaliyah was a shocking thing. I remember when Pop Smoke died, bro, as impactful as it was like a week, 2 weeks.
Yeah. I discovered King Von the week before he died. I didn't really listen to him before that. The album came out, and that's when my second episode of Uncle Vick Rants is me like, this King Von nigga dope. And then the next week it's like, damn, he dead.
I hate to laugh, but you're right. I mean, it's sad, but it's funny because how sad it is. Like that's literally how I had. Like I knew who King Von was, but I never checked him out myself until that album dropped, Welcome to O Block. And then a week later, like you said, a week later, he go on Gilly Podcast and he dies the day after he go on the Gilly Podcast. I'm like, damn, this nigga was just like the next up.
I was watching TLC, the movie with my kids, right? Because somehow I'm assuming TikTok, but No Scrubs has translated over into their generation, right? And I heard my daughters singing No Scrubs word for word. And I was waiting for them to get 30 seconds in and not know the rest of the words, because that's all. And they kept going. And I'm like, like y'all really fuck with this.
They went and streamed it. They went
through the whole joint. And I said, okay, y'all gotta sit down right now. Because the only way I'm gonna be able to teach y'all is through biopics. And I made them sit down and watch the movie and explain the story and the time, because I understand, this is how I understand y'all generation a little, well, not we in the same generation, but y'all era a little bit more, because I'm looking at it through my kids and I'm going, oh, I get it. You just don't fucking know. Like, even when I was born, because I was born into hip hop at 5 and 6. So I was singing Run DMC and learning Cold Crush and all that shit, but I wasn't really no Grandmaster Flash person. That's before me. I wouldn't ever come bombard a nigga for real, even though I was in that time. So I realized that, they just don't fucking know. Now, when I started showing them, they was like, they were starting to understand the era a little bit more and things like that.
And what I feel like is even different from my era, and what I think also plays a big part of it, I feel like my era did not really discover hip-hop or the history of hip-hop until damn near high school, until, I'm saying, 11, 12. When we were, like, for me, I grew up, I'm 6 years old, right? I think 6 years old. That's It Was Written came out. I'm saying I'm hearing exactly. If I rule the world, I'm 6.
I was in high school, bro.
Yeah, so I'm hearing Juicy, I'm hearing Warren, I'm hearing all these songs for the first time at like 5, 6 years old. You know what I'm saying? So those, I don't know what the fuck these songs mean at that time. So by the time I get to 8 years old, I discover Outkast. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, this is cool. I get to discover Bone Thugs and shit like that. But when I'm like truly getting into music, I'm listening to Nelly, I'm listening to, I'm saying, Ja Rule, I'm listening to Ludacris, like the people that's hot. Until I get to high school, I'm able to dig back into and listen to and really dive into the Jay-Z albums, like the albums. Like I had Dynasty in 2000, but I bought that literally because of Guilty Until Proven Innocent. I bought the Dynasty album because of Guilty Until Proven Innocent. That's why I was 10 years old in 2000.
I was 18.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's the reason why I knew I had.
And like right now, 30 and 38 don't seem like a big difference. But 10 and 18, it's a big difference.
Yeah, and see, that's why I realized I have to lay off of the night. I like to give y'all shit, but I'm like, I gotta lay off of them, because from that perspective, I wouldn't have it either. The thing about it is that what aggravates me, and that goes back to the beginning of this conversation with the podcast, and niggas just be talking about that shit like they was there. And that's what be aggravating me. Like, my nigga, you wasn't there. Don't be sitting here. It's cool to have your opinion, but nigga, you wasn't outside when that happened. So how the fuck can you tell me what was what?
Now, that's a quick behind baseball for all the listeners. One thing that Vic does that gets me mad more than anything in the world, right, is the fact he knows that not like Rory from Joe Budden Podcast. I don't dislike him as a person. I just can't stand when he controls the conversation at times. He's a dope. Everything he got going on is super dope, inspirational. Shout out to Rory. I don't know no problems. I don't want him saying get blocked and all that shit. I'm just saying. Now, for the most part, when Rory gets to talk about his hip hop takes, he says the shit like he just is matter of factly. And I think Vic thinks I be doing that shit, but I be strictly talking about hip hop from what I like. I don't be talking about I'm not trying to say nobody's trash. When I say someone's trash, I mean they is getting put in my recycling bin. I'm not putting that album on. It could be good I'm not saying it's a bad album to the world. I'm saying for what I want to hear in music, it could be bad. And of course that could be still offensive. But the way Rory be talking about certain music, like, come on, man.
But that's the same thing though, because you basing it from, of course, I listen to a lot of music that I like from then. I think it's trash now, but I'm looking at it with 2021 eyes. So that would be like me doing a podcast and I'm like, nigga, Marvin Gaye was trash. Nigga, my mama would be like,
no,
nigga,
no,
like, you know what I'm saying?
No,
Cause y'all be, my nigga,
I don't be calling
y'all be putting reputable artists. You be putting reputable artists in the trash bin, bro.
Only thing I ever called trash that like it's really been Young Guns. That Smoother KC had brought up. Only thing I ever called trash been the Young Guns.
Tough Love?
See? He gonna name that one hit.
No, the album.
Oh, the album. No, hey man.
The album is crazy.
You heard
nigga, you have not heard Tom. You from that era of that time. But see, let's see, because
that was like 2003.
I was like 19, 20 when that came. I was like 20 when that came out, so you probably was 12. You don't hear it like that. That's what I mean, though.
In 02, I'm listening to, what's 02? Ludacris. 02 is, who else is 02 for me? 02 is like Ludacris, Hove. That's
the biggest poppy shit.
Godson,
but see,
Godson era.
Young Guns album was for the niggas the young niggas that was outside then. You was outside, but you was like, I
was a kid.
Yeah, like you was at the park, my nigga. You was outside. You was outside at the park, my nigga. You wasn't outside.
And that's why I feel like you agree with Smoother and KC more on the topics because they have older brothers. I'm saying older cousins who was around playing the music. For me, for the most part,
that boy KC knowledgeable as hell, bro. Yeah, I forget how old he is. I forget how old he is when he talks.
He has a young mama too, so she plays shit for me. My parents listened to James Brown, Steiner Family Stone. Like I'm the oldest. Like I wasn't hip hop. I discovered hip hop for myself. Like I was listening to the oldies. I'd be in the backseat listening to, I'm saying, the Herb Kent, the Cool Jet and shit playing. You know what I'm saying? The Commodores. Oh, that's what I'm listening to. I wasn't hearing. I had to find Redman, Cool G Rap, all these people by myself. I had to do the crate digging myself and get to know about 4, 5, 6 and I'm saying Guru and Gangstar. Like,
right.
So that's why hip hop for me, I always say this. I'm not an expert, I'm not an authority hip hop. I'm forever a student hip hop. Forever. Like I'm always learning. But for me, I'm also more of a student of the history than the present. I really don't care about what the new music is for the most part.
And that's what I do like about you, because there's not a lot of people. I feel like there's not a lot of people, because if we don't get the history of it, how the fuck do we pass it down to our kids? And I don't care. Look at how many young rappers who don't have a big palette when it comes to making music, because they don't go back. You know how much dope shit from our era they could be sampling? They don't even think like that.
That's why, like, for me, when the people were just in mumble rap, and I was a part of that too, I feel like mumble rap was a much different sound than what it's evolved into, was more melodic and much more reminiscent of like what Bone Thugs was kind of doing, mixed with what Outkast was kind of doing. Like it's pretty much that now. Like I love that.
I think quote unquote mumble rap, because I don't like that term either. Yeah, but I think this is the combination.
2015 to 2017, Migos and Young Thug was still kind of getting their sound.
They was honing their style.
Yeah, it was still honing their style. Now you see that surface and come to light. It's like, oh, all right, now we see what this evolved into.
I'm glad for some of that, because I feel like certain people wouldn't have gotten flowers without this era, because all it is a combination of Bone Thugs and Juicy J.
100%.
Juicy J. It goes to show that they were ahead of their time in that time. And people just didn't know it yet. I mean, of course we knew Bone, because Bone was the biggest shit in the world, but people wasn't giving 3 6 Mafia their flowers. And I feel like now, because of the sound that you have, you can't big up this sound without attributing it to Juicy J.
But like for instance, like listen to a guy like Moray, right? Like I don't think he's like the dopest, but I like his sound.
I like him. I like him.
He reminds me of CeeLo, and I can see someone like CeeLo get that shine, like get that. Just see a mirror image of CeeLo is like, this is dope. I love to see him saying how the world kind of goes full circle at times. Like, all right, we get to see another version of CeeLo. That's cool. Gnarls Barkley was an era. You feel me? Like that was
yes.
So
I think
that's super dope.
Yeah,
and like hearing him on that My Life joint with Cole, and knowing that, like for me as a hip hop head, right? I remember there's a few songs I consider like hip hop head, like staples and like super hip hop nerdy ass songs.
The Life,
and Pharaoh Monch,
The Life,
Nigga.
Life? That's one of them ones. That's one of them ones that almost bring tears to me every time I hear.
Every time.
Like
I don't got friends that got enemies. So they close, you know, this my brother, nigga. Like that.
Man, what?
Yeah.
I just was banging out the other day. I be hoping my kids pick up on some of this shit. But because I don't want, like, because even when I was younger, right? I had a young mom. So my mama didn't care about me listening to all this shit younger. And she was into some of it. You know what I'm saying? So that was a cool thing. But at the same time, my mom was still like, cut the shit off, nigga. I'm not going to do that with them and their music. Right. Like, so it's like, even though I don't want to hear that shit some days, I hate waking up and hearing Mooski in the morning. Like, I do. I'm getting too old for that. But, yo, rock out, man. Rock out. Our shit was toxic. Y'all shit gonna be toxic. As long as the earth is the earth and niggas is out here doing what they be doing, it's gonna be some toxic. And that's what makes the music. That's what I feel like hip hop is missing. We're missing the toxic part of it. We're missing the street part of it, because that's all rap was us reporting our story, because y'all motherfuckers was trying, the motherfuckers in power was trying to keep us muffled, and we came out of it with our stories. That's why I do get tired of a lot of this sing-songy ass rap, because how many times you gonna tell me you got money and you can fuck my bitch? How many times you gonna tell me that?
That's like, for me, that's why it's only a few of those artists I really keep around. I have to kind of filter it. If I listen to too much of it, it's gonna sound all the same. Like I listen to Lil Baby, I listen to Roddy, I listen to like a few of them cats, but I can't go into I can't do too many of them. It's gonna get.
I'm tired of everybody rapping in fucking double time. Come on, sit
everybody,
back
bro.
I'm tired of that shit. And I feel like now you can't say that because everybody's like, well, everybody has a fan base and this is my opinion. And man, fuck that. I want to hear niggas rap.
And for me, like, of course, like, you know me, like, you know, I'm a super fan of Saba, super fan of Jid, and they are very double timey. But it's a difference when it's like
they rap.
Switch it up. You can switch it up. Like you don't gotta do it every song every time. And like I feel like most people do it like every song every time. It's like, come on, man. Like
that's why I'm not mad at people getting on Eminem's ass, because as much as I love Eminem personally, like I just listened to the song with him and Corday and Jack Harlow this morning, and I wasn't gonna listen to it, but I listened to it this morning, and as soon as he started rapping, I didn't care about what he was saying, because it was like, we liked you better when you just rapped and you wasn't bubbly all the fucking time.
Hey Vic, I'm gonna tell you one thing I'm loving about social media and how it's slowly evolving, how you get to kind of filter out your own things. I didn't even know that song existed. Jack Harlow, Eminem, and Corday.
The only reason I know it exists is because of Young Joe in our group chat. You know, Youngin is a hardcore Eminem fan.
I ain't been in the chat yet. I ain't see that.
Yeah, so he was talking about it like a month ago, and I was just like, whatever. I'm not gonna listen to that shit. But I know he like him, like he posted him in there. So I was going across.
I've been doing a great job of avoiding hearing a Jack Harlow song. So I've been doing it.
No, this thing with you and white rappers, what is it? What is it, bro?
I'm starting to see it more too. I'm starting to realize it myself. Like, yo, I gotta chill out. I be starting to catch it. Like, hold on, man.
I told you, man, you Black Rory, bro.
But I like Mac. But for me, Mac Miller is so dope. I'm saying, like, Mac Miller was the exception. It's like I don't know, man. It'd be hella gimmicky. Like, I look at Jack Harlow and I think I heard What's Poppin'. And I was like,
I don't really like that song either.
I mean, that's cool. I just can't hear myself just playing that. In what setting am I in when I'm putting on What's Poppin'?
It's this white boy out of Boston named, I think, Mills or Millie, something like that.
Oh, yeah, the Jadakiss artist. Like that also.
Is he from Jadakiss? Is he with Jadakiss?
Yeah, Jadakiss signed him.
That white boy hard, bro.
He's spitting.
He hard. Like,
and he scared me a little bit too. Like,
he's hard. He one of the ones that if you did this, you wouldn't even. He hard, bro.
But I'll be scared though. When you that much like that, he gonna drop it, bro. He gonna say it.
Dog, there's not a white person on the planet who hasn't said nigga. I wish they would stop lying too. Your boy Rory, like, your boy Rory swear he never said it. Because if I'm white and I love black people If I'm in my room, nigga, and Trinidad James come on, I'm in that bitch, nigga. I'm doing that.
And also,
I
like,
might not go outside and do that, but
and also, I feel like none of us, like, I don't say nigga by choice. I don't feel like you say it by choice. When you around people and they just say it, and you hear it so much, it just becomes part of your vocabulary. If you around enough black people enough, you're gonna fuck around and slip up and say it because you're around us, you hear us saying it in a certain context.
Yes.
You're gonna say shut up, man, every time. You're gonna say shut up, nigga. Like, oh, now you
My views on that is this. If you cause I, in Detroit, like I said, it ain't really a lot of white people there. But every blue moon in a neighborhood, it's one white person and one white family that's there, and they've been there from their birth, and they just like everybody else, they don't know any different. But if you got a circle and that's your circle, do that with your circle. They approve it, that's cool. You just don't get so comfortable to where you walking because if you do it in front of somebody else's circle when they punch you in the face, then that's you gotta take that. You gotta eat that. That's how I feel about it, personally. Because
and before we get out of here, bro, I gotta ask you a question. We mentioned this topic now a few times, and I'm kind of trying to set you up for Chicago, not Chicago versus Detroit thing necessarily here.
I'm waiting. But, I've been thinking about it all month. Before you even asked me the question, I went to Facebook jail, but I almost went in the group and added you like, I think it's time for that smoke, bro. Detroit versus Chicago. Because I was watching Lupe and Royce, and they was having that discussion on the episode of their podcast, and it got me amped up because I think y'all got us fucked up.
Answer me this question first, though. Who's better between them two?
Lupe and Royce?
Yeah.
Better in what way? Better as a rapper?
Let's say we do the versus just Lupe and Royce. Who will win that versus?
Lupe will win that versus.
Okay.
But if I'm I feel like this. Lupe is more of a technical. I think he's a better technical rapper than Royce, in the sense of.
Hey, listen real quick. I think if we did a versus, me and you did a versus on playlists of them two artists alone, that would get some motion. Especially
I don't think I'm that mad at that one, but I don't know if enough people know enough for Roy. See, Lupe got too many. That's not fair because Lupe got too many crossover white people hits.
Royce has Bad Meets Evil though.
Man, nobody give a fuck about that shit. like I don't want to say it like that, but if you ain't white, you don't care about that. Like. I do because I think it's a dope project, and I think it's a legendary thing in hip hop. But that's what I mean. Like Royce is getting his flowers. Like right now, Royce is in his time. Lupe came into the game in his time.
Kick push.
So
superstar. Yeah.
I don't know how that go exactly, but I feel like you have to be able to do more than just because sometimes people rap so well to the point where it's corny, and I feel like sometimes I would prefer Royce over Lupe because Royce gonna give me something I can feel with the bars where Lupe used to do that, but now he gonna talk about dinosaurs and chicken nuggets and quail. Like, okay, Lupe, my nigga, we don't okay, my nigga, I don't want to have to read 4 thesauruses, dictionaries, and go back and go through all the encyclopedias in the library to understand the fuck what you're saying, Lupe.
So how should we do it? Because you done a verse before with some BKC members. Shout out to the bro Chris Boyles, shout out to the bro Ski Johnson. Would you recommend we do it on Zoom and then put it on Venmo, or would you recommend we do it live? How should we do it? Because now when you say Chicago versus Detroit, like, do you mean like when you say Chicago versus Detroit, that means you get Motown and I get like oldies as well?
All of that. Because if we just do hip hop, I think it's unbalanced because I want to do a versus that's mostly hip hop for once. I get to use Earth, Wind and Fire and Kanye West in the same playlist. I ain't worried about that.
That's cooked.
I ain't worried about that, bro. But the thing about it is because I want to do one that's mostly hip hop, but I feel like Detroit hip hop just not like I could go through a long history of Detroit hip hop, But because our sound was so underground for so long, ain't nobody gonna know it.
You have Eminem and Big Sean. Bro, you trying to hear that?
No, nobody gives a fuck about Eminem and Big Sean's catalog outside of the Midwest.
I am, yo.
I played that in 2 battles, I think. I played that against Memphis. When I went to Memphis, I played that. Like, I could go back to old Eminem, but then I'm just gonna play. I don't know. So
I feel like the hype behind the Memphis sound and the bass sound right now. I think you face two juggernauts at the moment. Like Memphis.
Because if I start getting the payroll, Giovanni, and all them niggas that make great music, ain't nobody gonna know it, unless but a younger crowd will. But you know what I'm saying? Our crowd ain't that crowd.
Jay Dilla.
Oh, I'm definitely getting my Dilla bag. He fucked up. Like, I lost that Memphis battle, but I almost beat Chris off Jay Dilla alone.
Hey man, see my problem with me is right, and I'm scared of in a versus situation. Even when we did the playlist battle back in the day, I forgot who I did a battle against in the Chicago versus. Was it you?
It was Chris. Memphis. We lost to the same nigga, bro.
I lost to Chris too. I'm like,
hey, Memphis ain't no joke right now. But we lost to the same nigga.
But I feel like
I'm cool though. I got my victory back on Oakland. I won by a point with that Oakland. But
all right, bet.
Yeah, like I feel like Chicago got us fucked up. I know who y'all got. Earth, Wind and Fire. Nigga, do you know how long Motown lists go?
Common.
You know how long? What? Common. Slum Village to clean that up. We influenced that man. All of y'all Soul Query and shit y'all got from us.
What? Common came out like in 89.
Huh?
Common came out like in 92.
Slum Village been around that long too.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
Nigga.
Yeah, the original Slum Village came out like in there. Right.
Common love Jay Dilla, nigga.
100%.
Common love Jay Dilla. Like, come on, bro. Like our shit is. And don't even get me started on house music because y'all took that from us too.
We did stuff in Detroit for sure. Hey, house music though, you throw that in the mix. That's be a fun ass battle, man.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like Detroit, Chicago got to happen. It has to happen.
We're gonna make that shit happen for sure. That's gonna be dope. So we're gonna try to work out the scheme behind it, because of course, with the way all these subscription places go, you can't really play music. But so we're gonna either do it on Zoom and try to get a live going somehow, and then put the shit on Vimeo. I think that's the best way to do it.
Yeah, because YouTube is too iffy. Like I got me and Skeet's battle on YouTube, but it took a lot, and we did it live on Instagram, so that was cool. That part of it was cool. So we could the live factor is dope, but I mean everybody outside now. I don't know if that is the same. I don't know.
For sure, we're gonna figure out the schematics behind it all, man. But bro, I appreciate having you on now for the third time.
Always, man.
The show won't be the last.
Hey,
time.
Before I get out of here, what albums you looking for the rest of the second half of the year? What albums are you looking for?
Because we even get into the fact that Tyler just dropped the bomb on the world.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Tyler.
I'm so happy he did that and he didn't just go back into the Igor bag.
Yeah,
I'm so glad he
came.
Igor.
I didn't like Igor at all, but man,
Igor was dope. It took me a while though. It took me a while to get on Igor.
It was very Childish Gambino for me though. It was like it was cool, but like
how does the nigga that like 808s and Heartbreaks not like Igor?
I mean, it was just better. It was just better. Kanye did it better. I guess you know the way to put it, man. Heartless, Love Knockdown, Paranoid. Say You Will.
I don't know. I think I like Igor better. I don't know though.
Go listen to the album. Go boy. Welcome to Heartbreak. No, you can't believe that. That whole album is a joker. Except I just
listen to 808s and Heartbreaks. Like that's one of them ones I break out like twice a year.
808s and Heartbreak and Love Below. Yeah, them joints is the Soul Aquarium Dream right there.
Like a slave in this bitch. Let me turn my ear on.
The Love Below was one of them Soul Aquarium Dreams too. You know what I'm saying? This is a Soul Aquarium anthem. Love Below. Straight.
Yeah, man. So we're gonna have to set this shit up. I think I want to hear
when Drake dropping, man.
Drake. I just want to hear more. I just want to hear the rappers come out more. I just want to hear the rappers come out.
I don't think Gibbs.
I'm at this point where
I don't think Gibbs coming out this year.
Ooh, we ain't had no Gibbs this year, huh?
Nah. I hope we get a Ross. Hope Ross really does come this year. That'd be much needed. I need some.
I hope we get a stove. I hope we get a Stove God project. We ain't talk about Mac Homie either. Mac Homie got blazing.
That Pray for Haiti?
Man.
Mac. Yeah, that's one of them ones. Pray for Haiti. Pray for Haiti is probably number 2 right now behind off season. And I got I'm pretty sure Tyler be close number 3 behind Pray for Haiti right now. But shout out to my bro, MF Mello. Of course, his project en route is going crazy. I'm sure there's gonna be a Sabbath project dropping this year. I'm looking forward to JID, of course. These artists that we mentioned already. But I'm also, of course, looking forward to more from the Roddy Ricch. See what Roddy Ricch can follow up his last project with something solid. I'm interested in that. I'm saying interested in a few things, man. But Rick Ross supposedly gonna be over Harry Fraud, bro, and I don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
Alchemist, Derringer, them kind of beat makers right now. I really.
Where is Pusha T at right now? Where's Pusha? Where's Pusha?
Find Pusha, bro. I need Pusha right there.
I'm at that point where I'm ready to see Joe Budden come out of retirement. I'm kind of over the podcast at this point.
I've been wanting Joe Budden out of retirement. Rage Against the Machine.
I didn't at first. I wanted him to build up because I feel like now he can come out and talk that shit. But
I think he missed the window now. I think he missed the window. I
don't think so. I think right now, I think in the next year would be the perfect time for that.
How many? I know you hate this. I'm sorry, Vic. I'm gonna ask you the question you're gonna hate.
Numbers.
A numbers question. If Joe Budden were to drop, you think this would be Joe Budden's highest selling project he ever had outside of
yes.
No Love Lost?
Yeah, I think so. Because I think at this point he's built up a cachet where people just want to hear if he can do it again. Because now people who dismissed Joe Budden, because that's the way they dismissed him, was like, he can rap real good. I don't really listen to his music, but he can rap real good. That's how you know niggas who never heard his catalog. That's what niggas who never heard his catalog say. That nigga be rapping.
I mean, to be fair, I just said that about King Lowe's 5 minutes ago. So,
but that's what niggas who don't listen to niggas' catalog say. You know he got bars.
But King Lowe's catalog
real good.
King Lowe's catalog is much smaller than Joe Budden. Joe Budden's if you haven't heard at least one new music album, you shouldn't be talking about Joe Budden.
But most niggas haven't. That's what I'm saying. I think right now there's an interest in, can he still rap real good? What would he say now that he got money? Because you can't come on here and just talk about being depressed.
Yeah, man.
And I feel like now he could, if he would have popped his shit before, nobody would but believed him. But now he can go into all those bags he been had, and he could be like, you niggas ain't call me broke no more either. Now he's done on niggas too.
He gonna drop 6 diss tracks to Rory and Mal, bro. Just like he did Drake ass.
Hey, he low key takes shots on the podcast now.
On a regular basis, boy.
On a regular basis, he takes shots.
But I be here for it. That's the Joe that I feel like we all sign up for, that petty nigga. I don't be caring about mogul Joe that much. He's cool. It's honorable to see. I love seeing him grow that way. But nigga, I don't care about you getting your pedicure and shit that much. It's cool. You can talk about it. But damn, nigga.
I'm over the podcast at this point. I'm over them niggas being light skinned and Viv at this point. I'm kind of over it.
Light skinned and Viv.
It don't feel the same for me no more.
I fuck with Ish because Ish is completely different than Rory and Mal. He don't talk about music at all. He just want to talk about relationship type shit, adult type shit. It's a different dimension entirely. Ice really just be sitting there, but Ice is cool. He be cool.
It's Samuels. That nigga been hurt. That nigga need a hug, man.
This is definitely Kevin Samuels.
And Ice is, see, this is the thing, right? Before I get out of here, because this is what I don't like about Ice. I don't know him personally, and I fuck with Arsenal, and I know Arsenal is brother. So whenever I say niggas corny, it's like, I think all of us is corny, but it's levels to this shit.
Is corny.
But I feel like Ice is one of those old niggas. I feel like this right now. If you an old nigga in hip hop, you either an old person that's bitter and you hate all the young shit, or you a nigga that try too hard to fit in with the young shit. And niggas don't know how to balance that. Like, I know how to balance it. I feel like I think, like, I like some of it. I'm cool on either side. But I feel like niggas either just dive all the way in because they don't want to be looked at like an old hater. So they just dive in too tough. And niggas just look like you're trying too hard. And I feel like that's the energy that Ice has a lot of time.
Yeah, I feel that. I feel that a lot, especially when you talking about 31 years old. Like, nigga, you was not 31.
Like, my nigga, your beard grayer than everybody's on that bitch. Like, and I think he Arsenal's older brother. I don't know who the oldest one, but
I'm almost 100% sure he's older than Arsenal.
And Arsenal in his 30s.
I need to see documentation.
Yeah, and Arsenal in his 30s. So, nigga.
Easy. Arsenal was definitely older than me. It was 100%.
Yeah, like there's no way. Like, so I don't know, man. But that's why I feel like I want to hear Joe rap at this point. And then when he dropped that little line a couple weeks ago, it was like, that nigga, Joe probably been writing this entire time.
Yo, that little 2 bars he put up, I never been that hype for 2 bars. Like, oh, all right. I know what's next. I was like, boy, where that 3-4 at? I'm saying, but and of course, like, before we let you go for real, like, BKC, all developed from the Joe Budden Podcast group, so we all kind of
yes.
How do you feel about, like, Rory and Mars podcast? Would you want to see them come back onto the Joe Budden podcast? Do you think that's a possibility at all?
Nah, I think down the line, a reunion would be dope down the line. You know what I'm saying? Like how we've been waiting on the Hot Boy reunion forever. But I think I like Rory and Mars podcast. They still working out whatever it is.
I haven't got through 10 minutes of either episode yet.
Like it's a lot of dry spots in there where it's just like, bro, what are y'all talking about?
The niggas was talking about water for 10 minutes, bro.
But when they hit their little dickhead humor, when they hit that right pocket, it's like, oh, that's the magic right there. But they don't do it for a full episode yet. So I'm like interested in.
I feel like more so than Joe's pod, like the Joe Budden pod. Of course, it misses elements of them. But I feel like their pod definitely misses a much larger element of Joe Budden. Like, they need, I don't feel like either one of them are conversation leaders in the content field. Like, they can, of course, lead conversations. Maul's great at being a conversationalist. Rory's great at that. But the way Joe kind of, like, puppeteers it all is, like, what makes him who he is. And that's
but even Joe getting a little bit too.
Even when the Joe Budden podcast be born, it's never really a dry spot. Like, it's never really a boring spot. I don't care about this topic type of thing. But it's
me lately, Joe. To me, it seems like he's been forcing it. It's like, all right, bro. Like, or that he's gotten to a place financially where he's starting to feel a little out of touch with some of the shit he say. Because it's like, my nigga, like, I ain't gonna lie. I was listening to the last episode and I was kind of seeing some of the shit Maul and Roy was saying about him. Like, yo, if that was my man, my nigga, I might want to run that fade with you too with some of the shit you be doing. You see some of the shit he doing saying, it's like, I feel like Ice and Ish are the puppets now. I feel like he wanted them there so he could really get his shit off that he couldn't get off with it.
I feel like I think Maul or Rory, one of them said it. It made perfect sense. Like, with Rory and Maul, he could never run them like employees really because of how it began. With them leaving, him bringing Ice and Ish on, Ice and Ish are 100% employees of him. Like, no matter what.
And they give you that vibe too. I think that's why I don't like it. It feels gross.
Yeah, it's like, but I also look at it like neither one of them want to do content. They just doing it because it's talking to Joe. They do that shit on a regular basis. Like, for them, I don't feel like they look at it in the same. I don't feel like they care about the business of it as much.
And that chemistry just ain't the same.
At all. Of course not. Not at all. And I don't care about
just speaking of chemistry, that's kind of what, when is me and you going to develop something? Because I feel like the reason why when I get on, this shit be so long is because it be so much time in between us talking and where we might just need to have to really sit down and have these type of conversations once a week or something, bro.
Real shit, we got to do that, bro. It's definitely a 2-hour episode, easy, right? Easy 2 hours.
That's the reason they go so long, because we be trying to get all 4 or 5 months of shit, and we could be doing this every week, bro, because
Yeah, real shit.
Every time I have an idea or a hip hop thing or something, because that's why I haven't talked about it as much on Uncle Vick Rants, because I feel like ain't nobody there to talk to me about it with. So I've gotten more well-rounded and talking about more life issue shit on my show, as opposed to just talking about hip hop, because that ain't fun when talking about hip hop by myself. Absolutely. There's nobody to push back. And every time I get an idea or something that I want to talk about, the first person I think about, I should get juice about this shit. Yeah. So I'm like,
same shit.
At this point, we might as well try to put something together and see what the hell we get out of it.
Hell yeah, bro. I'm sure you see me in Chicago sometime this summer, and I know the guys,
I'm coming down.
The guys definitely want to link with you. Says
I'm as soon as I come, I'm coming down to have some fun at some point. And when I do, I'm definitely coming to link up with y'all, boy. I ain't but 3 hours away.
So I can never have you on the show. I'm saying talk about BKC without giving thanks. I'm saying to the lovely queen. I'm saying Miss T up above. We appreciate you and always miss you, man.
Thank you, man.
BKC is one and only. Appreciate you as always, Vic. We're going to do this again. Hopefully, we actually do build this pod for real, man.
Yeah, let's sit down and throw ideas off each other, man, and see what we come up with. I'm definitely. I was thinking about T the other day, man. And I was thanking God for her.
You hear me?
I was thanking God for her. I was thanking God for her for you, because I was just listening to Good in the Hood. It was not the Lemon Pepper Steppers, the one before that, where all of y'all was in the room, and I was just laughing at y'all chemistry, just like laughing my ass off, and I'm like, I just was like, thank you, T, man, for linking me up with these niggas, man, because it wouldn't happen without her. So it's definitely a done deal, man. It's as good as done. All we got to do is have some conversations and brainstorm, and we'll put something together for sure.
And I definitely want to do content with Harris in the future, Pinky, the whole crew of BKC. I'm saying, that's family forever. I'm saying right there. And absolutely, man. And but also before I get you out of here, man, what was I about to say? Oh, what I was gonna say. Damn. Rest in peace, T. Oh, I can't remember what I was gonna say, man. But
we get old, man. Look, I have to keep this to write everything down in this shit, because I be on the. If you notice me on the show, I be talking, then I be like, "What the fuck was I finna say?"
Yeah, you be able to monologue is impressive, but like you be doing it like in the last episode. Oh man, we can't go yet. We can't go yet. The last episode of Uncle Vick Rants, man, was super important. Especially coming off of May being Mental Health Awareness Month.
I cried a lot that week.
I'm saying I've had a tough conversation regarding mental health in my pod as well, but like what you let out, I'm saying, was so authentic, raw. It was just like unfiltered. You just put it all out there for the world to consume. Man, tell me one, how did that feel afterwards? Before we get to the process of it, how did it feel afterwards?
Honestly, man, I'm glad you brought that up. I feel different since then, man. Like I feel
freedom?
Like,
little freedom.
Yes, and I feel like God showed me everything I needed to see that week, because I had a lot of personal stuff happening. The podcast, like doing this, being a blogger, content creator, whatever, we still people. You know what I'm saying? And we still got families. I got two of my 4 kids out there right now. One of my daughters at the hospital getting a checkup because she's been having her own complications. I have a woman. I got a mama who, she from a certain era. She don't like for certain things to be put out there. And I just be telling my story, and I don't be doing it as an indictment on her. But when I'm talking about their generation, of course she gonna take that personal. I got siblings, I got cousins, I got all that. So I still have to, even though I'm entertaining and telling jokes and using parts of my real life to convey these stories to make it relatable, it's still people attached to them. So I have to put this shit out, and then sometimes get into arguments. So, and a lot of times those arguments, especially with some of the shit I've been talking about, brings up a lot of past traumas. And I had going through the things I was going through, things that I didn't even know that I was suppressing started to come up. So when like I said, I had 2 episodes in the can that week that I never put out. That was just about regular, everyday shit. And then it was like, that was so important. I had to do it. And I literally just came in here. I was dealing with my stresses. I didn't have no script. I didn't have no topic. I just went in here and started talking. As I was talking, a lot of those past traumas started hitting me again as I was talking about it. So the episode became something that I didn't even know, to the point where I was afraid to even put it out. Like, if I'm going to keep it a whole 100, me and my mom kind of still not speaking. You know what I'm saying? Like, to be honest. I mean, it ain't no love lost. We still texting and all of that, but I put that tension in the air, so I have to rebuild that rapport to let her know that, you know, I wasn't doing anything maliciously or disrespectful, but I had to tell that story. I can't be honest and not have it affect certain people. I have to deal with the repercussions of that. But how it makes me feel personally, I feel great. And God showed me so many things in there. It gave me purpose. I haven't even talked about this to anybody else, nobody, but the people inside my house. But right now, I'm researching a way to, because BKC has always been about networking for creatives to build platform, but and just helping creatives. And now I'm at this place where I never looked at it, because that's why coming up soon, I'm going to end the volume series. I'm going to do a few more volumes, and then whatever Uncle Vick Rants evolves into is going to be something different. Because now looking back at it, that last episode where I talked about Binky, my childhood nickname, that's episode 21, I think. I feel like I need to do a couple more and wrap it up, because those first 20-some episodes tell a story, and I didn't even realize that's what I was doing. And every single topic, no matter whether I was talking about life shit or hip hop or the Bible, or because I talk about a bunch of different things, it always ended up with us as a people need to kind of watch what we're doing, because we got a generation of people behind us watching what we're doing, and they're not going to be able to communicate if we don't know how to do some of these things. So every episode that I use my story to tell some of these topics about, kind of all fused into, yo, we got to do better because it's a generation behind us. So I feel like I'm going to wrap that up soon with some of these topics. But in that, going through all of that shit, dude, I had an epiphany. And now I'm looking into trying to start a nonprofit organization to help struggling and abused kids. Not to say I was no abused kid, but I feel like, because I wasn't, but there are different forms of abuse, mental, verbal, all type of shit, you know, and just in our community, naturally, I think all of us from the hood, we go through that because that's what's around us, a bunch of toxicity and a bunch of untreated mental health, whether it be our parents, all of us got an aunt or uncle that was getting high somewhere, all the violence we see in our community. I feel like I want to start an organization where I can go into some of these fields and help some of these kids and point them in different directions, because that's kind of what we here for, to be of service to each other. And I feel like in that week, going through all of that shit, God pointed me there, bro. And I don't even know how I got there, but I know since I got there, I haven't stopped feeling it. So I know it's something that I have to do. Absolutely. And it ain't about no fucking money or how much money I make, none of that. Now, I feel like if a person can make a career out of helping people, why not? But at the end of the day, some of us got to do this shit. I grew up on Tupac. I grew up on all these people, and that's what I took from them. So words can't express how free I feel since that episode, to answer that question, bro.
Man, that's dope, and that's super important, man. I'm glad you did it. I'm glad you took the time to realize how important that could be as far as healing yourself and even inspiring others to heal themselves. It's a strong step. And hopefully, when we do this podcast, the Bishop and Steele podcast, you know what I'm saying? We could.
I don't like that. I like that. I like. Hey, I think that's it. See what I mean? That's the chemistry, bro. That's it. It's set in stone right there, bro.
I'm hoping to have more conversations like that, and we don't gotta just talk hip hop. We
don't. We can use that as the basis to talk about other shit.
Yeah.
Because I got one that's gonna piss people off soon. Because I'm finna talk about I Hit 'Em Up was the most overrated diss song in hip hop history, but niggas ain't ready for that conversation.
I'm ready for it. I also feel like Ether is getting that rap now, and I hate it. I hate the fact that Ether is now considered overrated. Like, what are y'all? This nigga literally is saying fuck Jay-Z on a record, blatantly and loudly. How is that overrated? Like, what are we talking about? I mean, the bars ain't the best bars in the world. Like,
I don't think Ether's overrated, but I think what happened is, I guess it was kind of overrated because it was the shock factor of Nas actually struck back and hit home hard.
I think it's overrated only because Takeover is underrated. That's the only reason, because Takeover don't get no love. That's the only reason why.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. You got it. That's right. That's it right there. I agree.
Because Takeover is
Takeover one of them ones.
Takeover ain't no chump. But my favorite home Steele is Blueprint 2. Blueprint 2 is the one. Like, that should have been the one that daggered Nas. Like, we dropped that title track, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. I think my favorite Hove diss track ain't even a Nas diss track.
Is it Uchi Wally Wally or is it One Mic? Is it Black Girl Lost to Show You Odie for Ice? I've been real all my life they confuse it with Conceit. Yeah, Hove is.
I think my favorite Hove diss track is when he went up on Jim Jones, Brooklyn High.
Okay.
Chase niggas around they all ball game, niggas. It's something for you lames. Give me back the chain. It's something for you dames. Fuck y'all, bro. Didn't nobody tell you to fuck with a man family? Like, that nigga was going crazy on there. That's one of them ones people don't talk about.
On Jim Jones beat.
Like, nigga, I will click, clack, push the wig back further than Tyra Banks headline. You heard this in my time. Nigga, like, he was going crazy on there.
He went off. I'm still mad he's denying that he was dissing Joe Budden on that Pump It Up remix. I still think he's dissing Joe Budden. So what?
The so what comment was that. Like, nigga, you know what it was. So what? Shut up.
Yeah, it's a fact. But hey, man, let's wrap this up, man. We're going on a solid 2 hours, bro. Appreciate you, man.
Yes. See, we gotta figure it out. Now it's time to get logos and figure it out. Bishop and Steele, man.
We gotta get this shit happening. Fact. Bishop and Steele. But please say where they can follow you, bro. Where they can hear Uncle Vick rants, because now it is an audio content as well.
Yes, you can find Uncle Vick rants at all streaming platforms. We everywhere except Tidal. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Uncle Van Glorious. Van and Glorious, just put it together. It's like the X-Clan. You know what I'm saying? And that's where you can find me at. Or on the Facebook group in BKC, Blank Canvas with a K, Blank Canvas Creatives. Y'all can come over there and we can chop it up, talk some hip-hop, but definitely get into the show because Uncle Vick Rants is hip-hop based, but it's a self-awareness podcast, and all of us can use a little bit of that.
Absolutely. And while please check out bro on the audio side, but you got to check out his YouTube because his ability to edit and get that shit looking so sharp is definitely impressive and definitely needs to be highlighted. So make sure you check out Uncle Vick Rants on YouTube as well, man. And follow BKC Network on Twitter, Instagram. Of course, like you said, Blank Canvas Creators. This is a podcast group. You guys can listen to the Good in the Hood podcast. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram as well at Good in the Hood Pod. On Twitter at Good in All Hoods. I'm Juicing All Hoods on Twitter and Juicing the Hood on Instagram, man. Bishop is still coming at you.
Yes, and follow me at Good in the Hood too. God damn it, because I'm honorary Good in the Hood.
Absolutely, on game, man. Stay good in the hood. Peace.
Detroit.